Have you ever had trouble trying to run video during a Zoom conference call? Most people tend to use the screen share option. Even when they optimize it for video playback, it still doesn't always hold up the way that we would like it to. The way that allows an experience to be easy for people to be able to watch. We've got a solution for you. Hi, I'm Nathan Myatt with Divine Renovation, and we're going to introduce you to Logitech Capture. So what is Logitech Capture? It's an app that can be used to capture video from your webcam, desktop, or another application. You can set up two sources and cut back and forth to create one video. Pretty handy for quick presentation videos. But it can also be used as a virtual webcam, outputting a single video stream from two sources. And for the sake of this video, that's our focus, using a virtual webcam to play back an alpha video into a Zoom meeting for your online alpha. Let's get started. So for this video, we assume you have some experience with Zoom. What we're going to focus on right now is the video playback experience. So the first step is to download the video from alpha. Now with the file downloaded, you'll be able to play back the video right from your computer. Because playing it back from the alpha website and out to the guests would just eat up more of your bandwidth. The next step is to make sure you're using a powerful computer, and that computer itself is hooked up directly to your router. A Wi-Fi connection just doesn't have the stability that we want, and should be avoided if possible. Another factor to consider is that this setup works best with a Logitech camera. That way, you can take advantage of all the program's functions. We recommend the Logitech C920 for crisp, high-definition video. The next part of an ideal setup is to have a second monitor. Having two monitors will allow you to see all your software. So you can have one monitor with Zoom and Logitech Capture, and the other as a playback monitor, running your video full screen on Windows Media Player, QuickTime, or VLC Player. Note, don't use a preview software to view your video file, because the video file will close once you start using another application. On Windows, Films and TV would be an application to avoid. So we already have Zoom installed. We're now just going to quickly hop into the Logitech Capture website. I'll put the link in the description below, or you can just Google Logitech Capture. I'm running a Windows machine here, so I'm just going to download the Windows version, 64-bit for my particular setup. So the Logitech Capture app has downloaded. Just double-click to launch it to install it. This system prompt will pop up to ask for permission to install the application, and you click yes. And we are welcome to Logitech Capture. As you may have assumed, Logitech cameras are given the default treatment with this program. But I have a simple workaround if you don't have a Logitech camera, and we'll talk about that later. For now, we'll open Logitech Capture. And there we are, launched. There's a great video produced by Logitech that goes into detail about the program. I'll include it in the description below. But basically, you have two sources, one for your camera and one for the video playback. Just click the little arrow next to the none to see your source options. And under Logitech web camera, I see my C920. So I'll set up source 1 as my web camera. And there it is. Hi. I got a little bit of stuff that's sort of kicking around the edges of my frame, so I'm actually going to do the first feature that I'm going to try is just zooming to be able to make that nice and clean. So we've got source 1 as my web camera, and for source 2, we'll choose display 1. You can also choose to capture the application directly through a window capture. This is a great way to be able to still play back the video full screen and not have a second monitor. Here you can see my display 1 as my source 2. Which I'll use now to play my alpha video full screen. If the white from the app is hard on your eyes, you can also enable a dark mode in the top right-hand corner. So I'll just launch it using VLC Player. As you can see, it's playing back pretty smoothly. And if I really want, I can switch back down here between this source and myself super easily with this 1-2. I can do a combo where I'm, a little head, or we're splitting the screen in multiple ways. We're splitting the screen in multiple ways. All kinds of fun options. But basically, whatever way you want to present it, and for the sake of alpha, running a alpha video, we essentially want yourself to be set up, and then you hand it over. So before we leave, there's a few other advanced features which are pretty cool to do. Logitech comes with a watermark built on, so you can take that away. Yeah, you can play with some various kinds of transitions if you're trying to go between 1 and 2, rather than it just being a cut. You can actually transition. And there are a number of locked features here, which are unlocked if you go down and actually create an account, which I would recommend. The account, if nothing else, allows you to save your settings so that you can reproduce this from week to week. You can also create some nice custom presets, which are good for switching between one source and another. They're referring to them as scenes. So scene 1, source 1, scene 2, source 2. And then you have your audio, which at this point I would leave as default. The reason that I leave it as default is because we're actually not going to manage our audio from this side. We're going to manage it in the Zoom conference. So let's launch Zoom. So here's our Zoom window. Launch into a new meeting. At this point, that we'll click under video, and rather than selecting one of our normal cameras, such as my web camera that I normally have, or any other random sources I happen to have in here, we choose Logitech Capture. If you don't see Logitech Capture as an option available, just restart your computer and it should pop up. And then we turn on our video. And what we see is the alpha video, because that's the last thing that we left in the viewer. And now we get into the audio sharing portion of the event, in which we select our microphone. Ideally, you'd like a separate microphone, but you could also use the built-in microphone within your camera if you needed to. Basically, whatever microphone you would want to use to be able to best be heard from. I would recommend that if you're using, say, a built-in microphone from a web camera, that you would probably wear a set of headphones, and so you'd select those headphones underneath your source. Headphones will help so that the sound from your speakers won't be picked up in your microphone. So that will take care of the voice part. Zoom will handle the mic and audio level control. Jumping back to Logitech Capture, I can just simply select my web camera, and if you go back to the Zoom window, you can see it's me. Me twice. So I'm here, but I'm also here. Very interesting. The way that works is because the last source that I put in is my camera, and now I can switch back and forth to my video. So just a reminder, if you don't have a Logitech camera, you can still use this software. We'll review this in a few minutes. So again, this is showing my other display. So my display is all set up to be able to play back my video, and I play. At this point, if you went into Zoom, other than my own microphone talking, you won't hear any audio. But the playback looks pretty good. So what we do is we also use the share screen function, but only for the audio. So you just click on the share screen. You see my various remote options, the cameras, the screens, and the things along those lines. So you want to share computer audio, advanced, and click on music and sound only. And this gives you your basic setup. But wait, there's more. What if you don't have a Logitech camera? Well, the way to get around that is to use Logitech Capture as a playback engine, and then switch in Zoom back and forth between your Logitech Capture and your webcam. So in this scenario, I would just choose my other web camera here, and then when I'm ready to play back the video, choose Logitech Capture, and the video will be already loaded, and I hit play on my display 1. It's not quite as elegant as having it integrated into Logitech Capture, but it'll still work just as well. That said, there are still a few other things we could do to optimize the experience for your guests. Pro tip wise, you want to make sure that when you set up to be able to share your video and your audio, when you're actually going to do the playback, that you are the last one that speaks. Mostly because in speaker view, if you start playing the video's audio doesn't act as a trigger to actually pull people's speaker view, which is triggered by who speaks next, to that person. So I would mute everyone that's in your Zoom room, set up the video, and then play it back. When you begin the sharing, so now people are going to be able to hear everything that you are playing on your computer, i.e. the video, but they'll also get notifications and things like that. So if you want to disable that at this time, that would be a really good idea. The way to be able to do that is just under your Focus Assist. So you look under Settings, you go to Focus Assist, and then Off. So now that the meeting has begun, you just simply can work towards your two sources by switching like so, back and forth, and you just go over to the second monitor and hit play.
Every day we ask so many questions. What should I wear? What's the weather going to be like?
Thanks for listening, and good luck in your online alpha. If you have any questions, email us at tech@divinerenovation.org.